Hello and welcome to something different. I'm doing the Overwatch League jersey tier list, something that a lot of content creators have been doing recently. Well, the irony is I recorded this video and then forgot to record the audio, so you're getting a video of me recording audio over the clip that you're watching of me ranking the jerseys. It's a whole thing. But yeah, Overwatch League content's been pretty slow recently. Not lots have been coming out. I figured I would do this because it's fun, it's different. Been having fun with videos this week, so I thought I would do another video a little bit different from the norm. Jerseys are cool. I like the new jerseys a lot in general, so I figured I would just go through and talk about them and give you my thoughts on them and kind of review them. If you haven't seen them, I'll link to some links in the description. You can kind of check some of them out. But I have them in alphabetical order, so we'll kind of go through them as a group. It'll be fun to go through. So first, we get the Atlanta Reign jersey. I like parts of the jersey. I like the Phoenix head look at the top. I think it's really cool. The flames to me are very over the top. I don't love the arms either with like the half gray sleeve end. I think that's pretty bad. It's a common theme throughout a lot of these jerseys I don't really like. This feels very like Guy Fieri, like Flavortown. It's just a little too much to me. Like I said, it's not the worst type of jersey, but and there's some things there that I like, but it's not great. I think I put it in C here. Here's me finicking with the ads, and then I just give up. But I think I put it in C, and I think I drop it later into D because I just really don't like it. But I was being a little lenient early on. Next is the Boston Uprising jersey, which is one that I know a lot of people don't like. But I actually think this jersey is pretty good. I think it works. I think its colors work. It's simple. They got rid of the yellow, which I like. I don't love the yellow. Once again, I don't love what they do with the sleeves, with the blue on the bottom and the white on the top. They should have just done white for the whole sleeve or blue for the whole sleeve. Stop doing half colors on the sleeves. I think they're ugly and they're bad. But I like the Boston Uprising because their jersey's simple. The colors work. It's blue. It's white. It's black. It's gray. And it's simple. The uprising, the Boston Uprising kind of in the arrows are cool. Obviously, the Charlie Brown meme exists, and it is pretty funny. I won't lie. But in general, I just think that the entire jersey is kind of it works. It's nice. I think it's got a nice little kind of look to it. I think it's kind of cool. You can kind of see the ideas that went into it. I think it's part of why it's good is that it kind of fits into their branding, which is rise up. The arrows. It all kind of makes sense. So this to me is it's a nice jersey. I know it's not super popular, but I do like it. I have it as a B jersey because I think it's good. I think it gets gets a bit of a bad rap, but I think it's nice. I think it's simple, and I think it kind of fits the Boston design, which I think is good in general. So, I don't want to be too critical of it because I like it a lot, and I think it's one that I think works as a jersey better than some of the other ones do, which I think are just a little too busy. But this one's nice, so it's good, and it's got actual listing on the shop, so it looks nicer. Next, we have the Chengdu Hunters jersey, which is nice. You can kind of read some of the stuff about it on the right side, which is pretty cool, kind of based on an archaeological site near Chengdu City. I kind of like the patterns. I like the things that are going on there. There's definitely like a face in the bottom, and there's a face on the back, which is pretty cool. I like the theming. I think that I like that it kind of relates to the city, which is one that I think most jerseys that have like connections to the city that they are representing are always the best because they show you that they want to make the kind of that it connects it to the city that you're in, and that's what Chengdu does with this, with the artifacts from Sanxingdui. So I think it's nice. I think it's one of my favorite jerseys. I've never been a huge fan of Chengdu's colors and their kind of thing, but I like it. So I think it's good. It's an A-tier jersey to me. I think it's nice. It's one of the ones that kind of took me by surprise, which was cool, but all in all, I do think it is a nice jersey, and I'm glad that we got a look at it. And based on the fact that they said it was finished in like early 2022, that kind of makes me think a lot of the other ones were too. Dallas is next. It's pretty bad. It's pretty simple. It's pretty ugly. There's not a lot going on here. It's way too simple. I wish they did the kind of like the not filled in flame that they have on the back on the front as well. I think that would have been at least a little bit more interesting. In general, it just feels very similar to last year's jersey. So, D tier. D for Dallas, one might say. Yeah, don't love it. Don't love it. But it's not bad. I think the simplicity can be good, but not when it's like that. Florida Mayhem jersey, really, really cool. They do also hit the two colors on the sleeve, which I don't like, but I think that in general, the jersey is cool. I love their kind of Vaporwave, Miami Vice kind of color scheme and whatnot. I love that on the front, the Mayhem logo there is kind of like a rising sun over the name, which is really, really cool. I love the use of colors. This gets to like maybe a little bit too busy for my tastes, but it's just good enough in terms of its design and its colors that it keeps it from getting too far up, which I really, really like about this jersey. I lived in Florida for several years. I can't hate on the Florida Mayhem. I can't hate on their jersey. I think it's one of the better ones. It's an A tier jersey for me. I do really like it because I just think that they understand their branding very, very well, which I think is always very important. So no real complaints from me on that one. I do think that they have one of the better jerseys, and it's very, very nice. Don't mind me just reorganizing the bottom because they're not all in alphabetical order. Going to Charge jersey. It's okay. I don't love it. I think having the city on the bottom is actually that's probably my favorite part of the jersey, and it's like not that bad. The back is weird to me because it doesn't connect at all to the rest of the jersey, which is why I think it's kind of a problem. I would have liked to see more color on the front. I think having that color that you have on the back, on the top, above the Guangzhou Charge part would have looked cool. Maybe in reverse so that it kind of like goes up, but I just don't love it. I think Boston uses the kind of simplicity of theirs better than Guangzhou does, so I put this one in C at the end of the day. Yeah, I just wish they did a little more with it. I wish they did a little more with the color. Like I said, I think if they did like an inverse gradient of what they have in the back, kind of above the Guangzhou Charge title, that kind of went up and got smaller, that would have looked really, really cool. But instead, they just did nothing above the name, which I think is kind of Hondra Spark is one of my favorite jerseys. I love the use of their colors. I think their color scheme in general is really, really good. The pink and the blue and the white, kind of bright, vibrant, very, very cool. They did a thing that I think is very, very good, which is they don't have a lot of colors in this jersey, but a lot is going on. There is a simplicity to the colors that makes the complexity of the design work that much more. Because it's a background, right? The background is just two different shades of pink, a lighter and a darker, and the darker is used to kind of make the designs, and the lighter color serves as just kind of the base template of it. I love the name, the way they use the name. I love the colors. I think it's a really good jersey. I really do. I think it is one of the best jerseys in terms of just branding, and I think they use their colors very, very well. So I'm happy that they've done this, and the way that they have the logo and like the towers from China and stuff like that. It's always a really, really, really nice thing to see teams kind of work their actual branding in there, which is really, really cool, and kind of culture kind of worked in there. So I put it in B. I think the main reason why is just because I think it's a little too simplistic in certain ways. Obviously, the design's very complex, but I don't love it in the way that it's like an S tier or anything like that. And I just think I don't want to put too many jerseys, especially when I know some of the other ones later on. Houston here. I like Houston's a bit. It's got bowling shirt vibes with the stripes down it. I like Houston's colors a lot, black and green. That's like my favorite shade of green. They don't have the sleeve issue, which is always good. I like how they used the outline of the logo, which Dallas had done in theirs, but they didn't. It's pretty good. I like the pattern on the side. I kind of like that they used it in a good way. They kind of kept it to the outside. They kind of kept it in a way that it works when it's wrapped around, but it's not the primary thing on the jersey. So it's decent. Like I said, I like their colors, but it's not my favorite jersey. The Spark jersey is definitely better, but it's by no means a bad jersey. I do like it quite a bit, but it's just not. It doesn't really doesn't make me fall in love with it, which is unfortunate. But I got the sleeves right at least, so that's always good. London Spitfire. Oh boy, this jersey's really weird. I don't love any of it really. I don't like the fact that they don't have London above Spitfire. They have London on the bottom, with like the badge, but then they don't have London anywhere else on the jersey. They just have Spitfire. It's weird. You'd think they would represent the city of London a little bit more, though maybe that's a sign that they're not going to be in London forever. I don't know. I don't know. The orange is weird. It's the only bit of orange, and it takes up half the sleeve end. Once again, not a big fan of that. The like circle pattern is like okay, it's fine, but I don't love it. The colors aren't terrible, at least. Kind of like clouds and stuff there, so it's not a bad jersey by any means. It's just it's a kind of busy, and I don't like the way that they used colors all that well. So it's one of my least favorite jerseys. Like, it's not terrible, but it really just does not work for me all that much. That orange too on the sleeves, like the worst part of it. Like, get rid of that orange, please. Just make it all blue. You don't need any orange on that jersey. Just keep the blue. Ugh. LA Gladiators. I like the Gladiators colors a lot. They also bother me with the way that they did the black on the sleeve. They should have just done all purple on both sides, especially when the one side is just blank purple. There's nothing else over there. I think that just keeping the pattern would have been better for the sleeve. I think they didn't want to because of the way that the black intersects with the logo, but it looks fine on the back. Like, I don't mind the way it looks in the back, so then I don't see why it's an issue on the front. Like I said, I think it's because of the black band, but I just wish that they would have just kept it going all the way around. But I like the kind of pattern, the kind of connection to the Mexican American culture and just general kind of Latin American culture in LA and Southern California. So I like that about it. It's reminiscent of the third kit from 2019, which is very, very cool. So I like it. I wish they did more. I wish they did more with their branding. Their logo is one of my favorites. I like that they have LA on one shoulder and the lion on the other. That is cool. Not enough teams did stuff like that. They kind of utilized the entirety of their branding here, which I really, really like. You got the LA kind of tramp stamp there in the back. But they definitely could have done more with it, which upsets me a little bit because, like I said, their branding's so good, their colors are so good, but I just don't think they did enough with it. And so I have it as a B tier jersey because it's good, but it's not like among my favorite. The Valiant jersey is interesting because I like the way they did color on the front, kind of the inverse color on the top and the bottom, the kind of the wing pattern, the V on the back, which I know some people don't like. I think it looks fine. The end of the sleeve is its own problem once again, but most teams kind of fail in that regard. My biggest complaint with this jersey is actually the shoulders, because I think there needs to be a level of simplicity to the colors of your jersey. Designs and stuff can have some complexity to them, but when you have like gradients like you have on the shoulder there, I don't think that looks good. I don't think it works. It feels very like I'm 12 and this is cool. Like when I was younger, I had like shirts that were like black and blue, and it was like a gradient. It would like fade from black to blue. I thought they were so cool, and I look back at pictures of me wearing that, and I'm like, that's the ugliest shirt ever. And that's the exact same feeling I get looking at the sleeves on this one. So I don't love it. I don't love the wings. I don't love the sleeve or anything like that, or the clouds in the sleeves. It's just too much going on. They once again fail on the edge of the sleeve. They should have just gone like full dark, I think, dark blue there, or the darker blue. It's not a dark blue in general. I just don't love the gradient. I think it doesn't land for me. It doesn't work for me. I like the idea. I like the clouds. And I kind of like this. It's like a sunrise kind of, but that's not really their branding. They're a Valkyrie. They're something that flies. So the clouds are nice. Like I said, I just don't think the color gradient lands the way that I would like it to. So for me, it's one of the ones where it's like, it's pretty good, but just the weird, ugly color just upsets me. It like really upsets me. And so it's a C. I think if they didn't have the color gradient, it would probably be a B. But I think it's ugly on the shoulders. And so I dropped it down to a C because it just bothers me. Now this right here is a great, great jersey. Like I said with the Hangzhou Spark jersey, like I said many times previously, the thing that lands for me is when you understand the simplicity of colors with a complex design. There's a lot going on here, but the colors are not very complex. There's black, there's gray, and there's white. That's it. There are 3 colors on this jersey. They understood to make it look nicer by not having a ton of different colors on it, by keeping it very simple in that regard. I love the aesthetic of New York Excelsior. What they've done in terms of their design is one of my favorites in the entire league. They consistently do very, very well. I'm curious to see if they move their in-game skins to this kind of black and white and gray color. I don't know exactly if they will, because the big reason why they might not is because we already have, black with Toronto and black with Houston. The colors are different, obviously, but it'll be interesting to see if they go this way. But I think they might move away from the blue and move more into this kind of black and gray, black and white color scheme, because they just seemingly have been doing that anyway. They just might make it official here, but I just love what they do. Like the graffiti look, the kind of artwork look, kind of Art Deco in some ways. It feels like New York. I feel like it represents New York very, very well. So this is definitely an S tier jersey to me. I love this jersey so much. New York really wants to make me a fan again after the disaster of an offseason we've had. They really do want to bring me back in. I don't know. I don't know. They might have me with this. If this is what their new look is permanently, I don't know, man. I never loved their the blue and red that they had before, so now I'm like, I don't know. Next to the Shock, I like the Shock's jersey quite a bit. I've seen a lot of people don't like it that much, but I think they nailed one thing very well, which is the use of color. It is a little busy in some places, but I think it works fine. It kind of has a theme to it. It's like a storm, kind of, which is, makes sense when the name is Shock. It's a very fiery storm, which is kind of weird considering they're like shock, like they'd be more like lightning. But also, like, San Francisco had a fire, right? Didn't it? I think it had a fire. It's had a lot of stuff. But they do well with colors. There's only 4 colors on here, right? There's black, there's orange, and there's 2 shades of gray. That's it. And so I think it's nice in that way. So I like it. Another one that's reminiscent of their third kits. Those are more camo. But I think it works. I think it's good. I think they've nailed their branding ever since 2019. I hated their 2019 like orange color. Once they moved into 2020, it was like the gray with the black and the orange. I think their branding was way better and way nicer. So for me, this jersey is way better than some of the other ones. So it's an A tier jersey. It's probably my 3rd favorite jersey. I like it a lot. I think it's really, really good. And I think people who don't like it are wrong. Now we have the Seoul Dynasty jersey, which is the worst jersey by far. Everyone agrees it's bad, and it's bad because it's boring, right? It just says Seoul, Korea over and over and over. And what makes it worse is that it's Seoul, Korea over and over in English and in really boring fonts. You are the team representing Seoul, South Korea, and you wrote Seoul, Korea in English? Now, maybe there will be a Korean version of this jersey that has it in Hangul, which would be very, very cool. But the whole jersey is in English. Why? Put some Hangul in there. A little something, make it a little bit more interesting. That's my biggest issue with it, is that they just went all English, which makes it kind of ugly. And they have like a cool logo. Their tiger's cool. Their branding's cool. They failed on the sleeve by making it gold on the top and black on the bottom. The whole thing just doesn't really work for me. It's a bad jersey. It's so bad. And everyone agrees that it's bad, which is the thing that makes it even worse. Is that everybody knows it's bad and they still designed it that way. Which stinks because Seoul's cool. Imagine Prophet wearing that jersey. Think about that. Could be Prophet's final season, and that's the jersey he's going to be in. He could have been in the Seoul Infernals jersey, which is so much cooler. This is my favorite jersey by far. I love it. I love the use of colors. I love the art. I love just the whole thing about it. I think the funniest part about it is that the Infernals logo is very demonic and kind of Infernals their name. And their jersey's like a pretty tree with flowers and leaves or petals falling and branches, white branches. It's funny, but I think it works. I think it's a really good jersey. And I think it just kind of fits. And I think it's very, it's very reminiscent of a lot of East Asian art, Korean art, Japanese art, stuff like that. So in that way, it also lands very, very well because it feels like a jersey that would represent a team from Seoul. I guess the Seoul Dynasty jersey also does, but that's just because it says Seoul, Korea over and over and over and over and over and over and over. So it only kind of works. But yeah, this is my favorite jersey by far. I really like it. I think it's really, really good. So I'm happy with it because it's a nice look for the Infernal. The newest team, I guess, technically. And I love their branding already. So it works for me very, very well. And I'm very happy with what we got here. Next are the Shanghai Dragons. They gain some sympathy for me because their color scheme being red and black is very, very nice. So in that way, it's pretty good. And I kind of like that they've abandoned the yellow pretty much entirely. Even on their logo, it looks a little more gold than usual with the star and the flame. It looks a little more gold than it did in the past, which is nice. I don't know what they were going for with this pattern. I don't know if they were going for like a dragon scale pattern. If they were, I wish they would have made it look a little more like dragon scale. I don't love the weird like corner fading thing that they have going on. It's kind of gradient like. This one's not bad. It's simple because the dragons can get away with simple because their color scheme I think is just that good. But I think a dragon scale look would have been really, really, really cool. I think that's what they should have done. I don't know if that's what they were going for, but it feels like a missed opportunity to do something really, 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 really nice. But I think the simplicity of this jersey is the thing that makes me like it more. They didn't do too much, and I think the fact that their colors are good allows it to be like a pretty good jersey. It's still a C tier jersey in my opinion. But just because their colors work so well, it kind of helps elevate the simplicity of this jersey's design, which is all in all a positive thing. I just wish they didn't make the sleeves look the way they do, but that is what it is. The sleeves, they got problems. I think that's me talking about the dragon scale look that I wish they would have done. Anyway, Toronto Defiant next. Their jersey's really interesting. They did all black on the sleeves, which is nice. They did not fail at that game. I think the funniest part of this jersey is that the actual Toronto Defiant logo is only on like the 4 little bits on the back and like a couple little bits on the front, and like worked into like the pattern a bit. They're not really present. Their like design philosophy is like a cyberpunk kind of look. I don't fully get it, it's a little odd to me, but it works. It's pretty good. Ooh, that's bad. It's pretty good. In kind of their idea. It doesn't really fit like Toronto necessarily. And it's very simple. It's just kind of like, I don't think it works as a whole jersey design. I think if it was just like in like the top of the sleeve, it would look nicer. But the fact that it's the entire jersey, it's a little much in that regard. So I think it could have been better. I don't think it's bad, but I think it definitely could have been better. And there's me moving the Atlanta Reign down to D, because the more I thought about the Reign jersey, the angrier it makes me. But yeah, I think the Defiant jersey is a little too much of the pattern. I think they should have cut back on it. That's just me. Titans. This is pretty good. I like the front of the jersey way more than the back of the jersey. Than the back with the just massive, massive head is a little much. But what can you do? I think the front's nice, though, with the way the mountains and the trees work. I think it's a very, very nice jersey in that regard. I like that they only have their logo on one side of the shoulders. I think it's good. One color on the sleeves, which is very, very nice. I like that they emphasize having black as the primary background color of the jersey and using the blue and the green as accents. The gradient of the head also kind of ugly. This is one of the few jerseys where I think the gradient works pretty well because the gradient is mostly, blue to black and green and blue. So it doesn't really it adds much in terms of colors to it. But it's definitely my least favorite part of the jersey is like the fade and the gradient on the back in particular. So this jersey could be a lot better. I think the mountains are good. The back is the back really hurts it to me. It just is not a good back of that jersey. The Vegas Eternal is probably the biggest hot take jersey on here, which is that I think the front is actually the uglier of the two sides. I think there's too much of that red on the front of the jersey. I think they should have done way less of the pattern, way less of the suite with the rooster, and less of that kind of red. Because to me, if you did more of it on the front, it would be too much going on. And so I think you needed less of it. And I think it would have been cooler if they just did kind of a similar pattern to what's on the back, but on the front, even if it's just on the bottom or just on the top. I just think there's way too much going on here, especially like when they're sitting down, you're not even going to see the bottom of that jersey. So I think the most important part of the jersey needs to be the top of the jersey, because that's what most people are going to see when they're watching the stream. So I think they should have had the pattern on the top. Maybe in the sleeves, maybe just in that little bit above kind of the name. I think that would have looked way better than just this kind of half of your torso having it. I don't think it looks as good there. So, yeah, I don't love it. And I think that the idea is good, but the execution is not. And so I just think in that way, the jersey just kind of doesn't make what you want. I don't really care about them using the rooster. It's kind of weird that they're still using it, despite the fact that they're not in Paris anymore. But I just think they could have done so much more. They could have done so much better. And, it's a good pattern, but it just doesn't really go where I think it should go. That's my problem with it. Final jersey is Washington Justice. I don't like this jersey. This feels, once again, like gradient is cool. I'm 12, and I like having, like, cool stuff going on. I actually think they do better than most with the way that they use the red on the sleeve, and they kind of have it go in with the rest of the jersey and kind of make an outline of other parts of it. I actually don't mind that. Some teams do that as well, but theirs is not as bad as some other ones are. But I think the gradient, it's just bad, and it's not a jersey. That's like a shirt that a 12-year-old wears. Don't do that. It reminds me too much of the 2018 jerseys, and those were hideous. I'm sorry, they're so bad. This is a D-tier jersey. I don't like this jersey at all. It's my least favorite jersey outside of the Soul Dynasty jersey. So yeah, there you go. That's my tier list. Justice, me just roasting them again. But there's my tier list. I'll put an actual just picture of it up so you can kind of see a little bit better. But that's it. That's what I got going here for this one. I'm pretty happy with what this ended up being. I think it's pretty good. I don't think it's the best. I don't think it's the worst in terms of these jerseys. A lot of them are really good, so I'm excited to kind of see them get worn. But we'll see what happens as time goes on. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with a lot of these jerseys. I think they're pretty cool. That's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed this video or like it in the future, consider liking and subscribing, as your support does help out a bunch with the channel. And like I said, let me know your thoughts on any of these jerseys in the comments down below, because I do want to hear your thoughts on them, because I think they are interesting and they are pretty good all in all. So yeah, that's it for this one. Hope you're all staying safe. Hope you're all staying healthy. Hope you're all excited for the 2023 season of the Overwatch League. That's going to be all. Thank you all once again. Bye-bye.